legislature. They don't have the sunshine law requirements that we have locally.
Right. And man, look, that's another problem, ladies and gentlemen. The legislature, and I tell you, it is time for a change at the legislative arena up there. Okay? The days of being down in the bar room or over at the country club and everybody discussing our little secret plan here and sliding in on Friday afternoon and shoving a bill in there, those days need to end. It's time that my legislature stands up and you need some light shined on you, folks. This kind of stuff, and of course I'm not going to take credit for gathering all this up. It was several people involved in gathering this stuff and putting it in a single document. But it's absolutely scary. A private corporation handed $110 million. You know,
I thought the free market was supposed to determine how successful you were in private industry.
You know, look, I'm not gonna say, and for people who know me, I'm not gonna say that the state prison correctional system, maybe there's some ways that they could save money. Okay, maybe there are some ways that they could do things more efficiently. But to give my tax, look, I can't say it enough. Your tax dollars went to a private corporation, of which you're going to get none of that back. You're not going to participate. You're not going to get free stock for it. You're getting nothing. A private corporation got your money. And now they're going to turn around and get paid forever by keeping prisoners.
Right.
Okay? And Deborah, I want you to give your little scenario about the motivation for incarcerating people and how dangerous the private prison system.
Well, we know that the private prison industry has donated money to groups that lobby for stronger prison terms. I mean, that's a given. It's basically in it's in their best interest for more people to go to jail. And so we see people going to jail now for driving on a suspended license.
Right.
I mean, we saw this horrible atrocity in Pennsylvania where these judges were sentencing these kids. One of them wrote on a desk. Another one posted something derogatory about a vice principal on a vice.
So he gets jail time.
Right. Put him in juvenile hall. And of course they were getting kickbacks from the private company that was running the juvenile hall. To
incarcerate.
And they think 5,000 kids went through these judges' hands. I mean, that's beyond criminal. That's dystopian. You know, Brave New World.
Yeah, absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to be filled with righteous indignation now that you have this information in front of you. I want you to reach out to your legislative members. I want you to call their offices. I want you to look their email addresses up. I want you to send them an email telling them to quit this kind of behavior. It is not fair. It's not what you signed up for. It is ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous for my tax dollars and your tax dollars to be going to a private entity. Right.
Well, the other place they can send them a message is through the ballot box.
Absolutely.
That's absolutely a way to let them know that they've overstepped their bounds.
You know, they are completely out of touch. Anybody who thinks that it is okay to give tax dollars to a private corporation does not deserve to be an elected official.
In the name of efficiency.
Yeah, in the name of efficiency. You're right. You know, let's look at our state prison system.
Yeah.
You know, let's look for ways to make it more economical to the taxpayers before we go down this road. And with all of the people that we have found that are sitting right there in the hen house directing how our tax dollars, not elected officials, mind you, these are people, contracted employees that work for the legislature. This is wrong, folks. You need to help get involved in this. I'm going to tell you right now that I've already sent this documentation to a member of law enforcement that I believe can do something about it. And I'm not going to let up on this issue. The the privatization issue's kind of on the side right now. I want to know where my $110 million went and who in the legislature thinks they have the authority to do that. I don't believe it is I believe it's criminal behavior. If it's criminal behavior for Ray Sampson to put $7 million towards a private hangar,
right,
$110 million to a private corporation is just as criminal as that is.
Yeah.
And look, I'm not gonna rest until this thing is answered. I'm not gonna rest until it is in a courtroom.
Yeah, let's not forget that apparently part of the reason that this was pushed so quickly was that the state incarceration rate is dropping, and there were not going to be the expected numbers of prisoners coming to Santa Rosa County.
Right.
And, it seems to me that if a private company can't cut it using the market, that maybe either they need to go out of business, or maybe this is just a function that shouldn't be privatized.
Right.
If private industry can't make a profit.
It's a perfect system for GEO and the private prisons.
Right.
They invest none of their money. They have no liability. They get the land for free, the building. They have absolutely nothing invested in it.
Yeah.
And if they get a contract, ever how many heads show up, they get a check at the end of every month. And, ladies and gentlemen, on top of that, the private prison gets to pick and choose which prisoners they get. And on medical expenses for these prisoners, there's a cap limit that the state prisons don't have.
Well, and just getting a little more esoteric, you also have a prison now that's available to throw people into where there's no transparency. There's no telling what goes on behind those walls. And who knows what people are going to get, thrown into prison for in the future.
That side of it concerns me, and I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to look in the camera while I say this. I believe that we have trained professionals that are state employees that oversee some very dangerous people. And I do not want them turned over to a private corporation where we will be blocked from seeing what goes on inside there. I just think it's a bad idea. And I'll tell you, we even looked in. GEO was asked on if you have an escape, what is your standard operating procedure?
Yeah.
And their response was, well, we relock the door and we call the sheriff's department.
Right.
Okay, they don't have a backup plan. We just try to keep the rest of them from running out and hope that somebody finds them.
Well, and again, potentially this is a gulag. Potentially, if you want to really get wild about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, remember you heard it here first. $110 million of your money to a private corporation. There is something wrong here. I want you to show some righteous indignation about this. I want you to ask questions. I want you to join on board. And I want you to ask, how is this kind of behavior possible from the people we have elected in Tallahassee to watch over our tax dollars? I'm Jerry Cooey.
I'm Deborah Nelson. Thanks for watching. Good night.